I don't have any reason to believe, based upon her commentary in the past, that Anna is anti-trans. But tweeting out something like that, in my estimation, is the tweet itself, the act and the tweet, in this context, right, is an anti-trans act. I just think it is.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and context is everything in this case.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. No notes. Sam gets it. Sam gets it. We have platforms. We all do. Every single large leftist content creator has a platform that the average person does not have. We have privilege. We have an incredible privilege. Part of that privilege is that we have to listen to the communities in which we are advocating for. That's part of the deal. We got to do that. So when people within those communities are telling one of us, hey, by the way, this actually hurts us more than it helps us, we got to listen.
And why? And it's so confusing. Look, they're attacking Lance. They're attacking my boy.
Aww.
They're attacking my boy.
Aww.
Shading on Anna Kasparian, calling transphobic is way to line. Vaush, I love you, but she's not a fucking turf. No. Hold your horses, okay? I know a lot of people who are watching right now have positive opinions on Anna. And listen, I think she's done a lot of good, okay? But that's the difference between you and me. And that's the reason why I have standards, okay? I don't pull my punches just because I have a previous positive relationship with somebody. This is really dumb, okay? You know, this isn't like I don't treat online politics like some kind of tit for tat friendship you, friendship me bullshit where because they've defended me and my good takes, I have to defend them and their shit takes.
Vaush is so right here. Yes. Oh, for the people in the back. Yes. And please normalize this, because I do this all the fucking time to Vaush. People would be like, Lance, what do you think about Vaush's take on blank? And I'll be like, I disagree. And if you would like, I will make a video explaining why I disagree. This is not my position on this. I disagree with Vaush. Lance, you canceling Vaush? You going to tell everyone all the fucking bad rumors about him? Are you joining in on the fucking, the Vaush derangement? No, I'm not deranged. I do not have a syndrome. I'm completely well within, you know, a clear mind. And I'd just like to say,
Clean up your
I
room.
disagree. I'm not saying that no one should ever watch Vaush again. No one should ever watch a Vaush fucking clip. But I have a difference of opinion on this take. Vaush is very nice to me. He's very nice when we debate. He's very nice when I disagree with him and I go on a show and we battle about those disagreements. Because that's what people do. It's what human beings do. It's what you're supposed to do. You know? That's the part about this where it's just like, again, if this was a case of a few bad eggs who were acting completely in bad faith, as that can happen, because it's really hard, you know, your mind gets scrambled as your social media account gets to a certain size and it grows, and all of a sudden a lot of bad faith actors will just pop in there all the time and say the worst fucking shit about you and say the worst fucking stuff. Then yes, for a while your mind can get clouded as to what is appropriate constructive criticism from a good perspective from a marginalized community that we're supposed to stand up for, and on the other end, what is all the other shit, you know? So that's as far in terms of good faith you can go in terms of, like, yes, that can happen. But when all your colleagues and friends and people who love you and people who are in that marginalized community, aka trans people, the trans community is overwhelmingly screaming at you, please stop this. This is not it. And on the other side, the worst transphobic ghouls in the world are singing your praises. The very ones that we're all fighting against all the time. The Matt Walshes, the Ollie Londons, the fucking Candace Owens. If they are like, we love you. Yes, come into our fold. Join the Daily One. No, Stephen Miller. No, what the fuck? Ew, what? Okay, so I fucked up. Holy hell, did I ever fuck up? Yeah, I have clearly missed the mark on this one. I apologize. Fuck all those assholes. Fuck all of them. I hate those people, and fuck their takes. And clearly, I was on the wrong side of this. And hey, that's it. That's it. Not let's double triple down and then be like, oh, the extremist left is attacking us now.
Okay? Other people defend me because I'm right. They don't need charitability in my favor. I give them the tools to agree with me. All they have to do is think. I, on the other hand, would have to lobotomize.
I appreciate this degree of cockiness right now. I think it's funny. I think it's funny as fuck. All right? That's fucking hilarious.
Myself to have any more charitable of a take towards Anna than I do right now.
Of course, Vaush would have to go edgy, you know? I saw him reply to me a bunch of times on Twitter, too. He was like, I was way meaner to Anna than you, and Anna never came after me, neither did Jank. I was like, yeah, I feel like they feel I betrayed them or something, where I'm supposed to just toe the line or what? I don't know. Like, again, so confused. I'm so confused. It's not one of those times where I'm like, I'm like, so many people, again, they're like, hey, Lance, are you doing okay? Are you all right? That's so mean what's happening to you. People from TYT writing me being like, Lance, I'm so sorry about what's happening. This is so wrong. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. Look, I'm not soft. If I was soft, I wouldn't do this job. You can't do this job and get exposed to tens of thousands of strangers all the time saying the most horrifying things about you. I'm emotional. There's a big difference. There's a very big difference. I'm proudly emotional. I am a very emotional man, all right? And that's a fucking trait. That is one of my traits. I'm proud of when I cry kind of shit. Yes. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I give tells away. I giggle and laugh too much. Yes. That is who I am. That is my persona. That is who I am as a person. But that's so different. I wouldn't do this if that was like the case. Because it would be too much. I'll be totally honest. This is not the kind of job, especially once you start reaching these levels, the levels that we're at, like it's not capable if you're actually soft. It's too much mental toll. It's too much random parasocial strangers who are saying the worst fucking shit about you all the time. It never stops. As soon as you go to bed, fucking the English speaking West wakes up, and then they just start going to town, and then you wake up the next day and you're like, so what's on the socials? What? Holy shit, right? So yeah, I would say that kind of across the board. So I'm totally fine. This is both baffling. Like, one of the most baffling moments of my entire online career is what is taking place over the fucking the arc, this fucking arc, and things are so weird. This is all happening while there's so many amazing things happening in terms of LGBTQ plus rights and liberation. Like Mr. Beast becoming Mr. Based out of nowhere, just straight up being like, I'm sick of the transphobia. Hell yes. Oh, that's so amazing. That's so incredible. The world's largest YouTuber is taking a stance. I love that, and I am one of the biggest Mr. Beast critics on the internet. I am fucking hated for my criticism of Mr. Beast, and my criticisms of Mr. Beast, the ones I had prior, those remain. And in that respect, I mean, there's a duopoly going on here. He can be both Mr. Best and Mr. Breast. You know, there's a difference. And like that moniker, Gilbert Gottfried gave it to him. That's when he's being shitty. That's when he's doing greenwashing. That's when there's child labor in the chocolate factories. All that shitty stuff. But when he's Mr. Best, you know, that's Mr. Based. That's when he's sticking up for his trans friend that he's known his entire life and being like, what the fuck is wrong with all of you? Why are you, my fans, acting like complete and utter monsters? This person is not my nightmare. This person is one of my best friends. Nothing bad is happening. Why are you all acting like this? Fuck you. That's good. That's a good thing. And that plays into all of this as well. By the way, yes, you can have a history of being awful, or you can have a history of being really good in terms of trans rights. And in the case of Anna Kasparian and TYT, I would say dollar for dollar, pound for pound, they have been on the right side of a lot of that fight. They have been on the right side of a lot of the anti-LGBTQ fight. They have fucked up and they've done a lot of weird ass edgy shit, and they've been racist, they've been transphobic, they've been homophobic. Yes, they have been doing that for a long time, but I would say if you look at the totality of their work, so it's not wrong to suddenly be like, by the way, granted, you are typically on the right side of this right now. You are making this into a monstrous issue. Look what we're all talking about. Everyone now, every fucking major leftist streamer is discussing this. This has become the focus of the entirety of the left discourse lately, and all of it again over birthing person. Why this hill? I don't get it. I'm so confused.
I can't come up with a better one. All right. This isn't like a, well, we're all friends, so we all stand up for. No, we're not. We're professionals, or at the very least, we're popular figures. Our words influence hundreds of thousands of people. In her case, millions.
Yes.
She's larger than I am. I'm not going to like
we have to be sober about this. Like, we all have massive platforms. Hold fucking content creators accountable, especially ones who say that they are allies. If they're like, I'm an LGBTQ plus ally, okay, then you have to listen to LGBTQ plus people. You have to listen to them. Please listen to them, because their liberation cannot be on your terms if you are the oppressors. And that's true. I am cis. I am not trans. So I have to listen to trans people when they tell me overwhelmingly that I fucked up. And I have before, and I probably will again, because I'm a fucking sissy. This is what we do. People fuck up. All of us fuck up and have fucked up. We are people. We are fucked. We fuck up, and we will continue to fuck up. But guess what? To err is human, all right? To forgive is divine. Absolutely divine, and also evolution, and it's great. So we should be in a place where we're like, hey, everyone, this person is normally freaking based as fuck. We agree on so much shit. We agree on fucking workers' rights. We agree on fucking evolving capitalism into a better system. We agree on so much shit. We're on board. Same page. We sync. In this case, you are helping the far right. In this case, you are helping. And this is at such a crucial time. And it is over nothing. Nothing. This is not a problem. It's not a real problem. This is a made-up phantom of a problem. These are ghost issues. These do not consume our lives. They do not make our lives more oppressed. How privileged do you have to be, honestly, that this is something that concerns you? That like, you have to be referred to this because you are a biological female? Like, no, come on. The only people this will serve is the far right and the fucking anti-LGBTQ bigots and fascists. They're the ones. They're the ones who are going to benefit from this. That's it. You know how I know that? Because they're screaming it. They're grabbing their megaphones right now. They're all fucking blasting off. This is all over. It's in fucking newspapers. I was in the Daily Mail. I was in the Daily Mail as the cancel culture leftist mob, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, as Twitter user. I'm Twitter user from the Daily Mail, everybody. Fucking, yeah, my 5 minutes. Fucking nuts. Why? Why is this international news? Why is this printed in a newspaper that can be bought at fucking corner stores in the UK on Turf Island? Because we are making this a thing. Because you are not backing down. Because you are doubling and tripling and quadrupling down on it. And now it's blown up to such a point where obviously there's one side of the political aisle who's thrilled. Who's fucking ecstatic. Yes, the transphobes get a massive W. Great. Awesome. At a time like now. Cool. Fucking hell. Drackley, thank you for resubscribing. Tyrannosaurus Seahorse, thank you for the Prime. Viditat, thank you for resubscribing with your Prime. Fair and Wolf, thank you. To Dr. Gamble, you're fucking awesome. Thank you for subscribing. Hacked, 1984, thank you for the Tier 1. Sineski, thank you for the Tier 1. Here for the lulls with the Prime, thank you. I'm hoping I'm going to deliver on a few. I'm a little spicy today. There's certainly, I would say, some pettiness, because after using, again, the most loving of kid gloves and the most calm and I love you and respect you form of trying to say this ain't it. This take is actually an anti-trans take. It's going to benefit transphobes. Going from there to now where we have found ourselves, where effectively I'm Monsieur Honhon. Jink has done a weird ass impression of me. I can cross that off the bucket list, so that's nice. Can go like a check right there. But what the fuck is happening? Every single one, if everyone at this point, we're getting close. A lot of fucking people have sounded off. Hassan has sounded off on this. Vaush has sounded off on this. Obviously, all of the leftist mafia have made videos on this, but people who aren't even directly attached to us have all sounded off on this. So many trans activists that we all love and respect and cherish have all sounded off on this and being like, this is fuck, stop doing this. Then at what point is like why I left the left because they very calmly and politely and from a place of love and care tried to make me realize one of my takes was a little rough and not it, and going to serve the far right. So then I basically gave up on fighting for an aspect of civil rights.
Like in her clip earlier where she's like, listen, she does this bullshit, by the way. This is the end of the clip that I played at the very beginning, okay? Here, listen to this, okay?
Polite means not calling the person you disagree with.
Mike Pixel and LFV2? Really?
Lance,
damn.
where is my JIZZLER merch?
Okay. So first, everyone, give it up for the royalty we have among us. The Illuminati is here. If you did not know this, I may have done some prompts in an AI art generator to come up with some movie tier. We're talking DC primetime, fucking front to center quality imagery of the JIZZLER. And I gotta say, the bottom right nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. We have the JIZZLER, in my opinion, and assessment. This is as close as we'll get, but I will take feedback, okay? And here we go. Am I gonna get roasted for this? Is this gonna be TOS? It's not cum. The prompt wasn't cum. I didn't put the Joker with cum flowing into his face. I actually put because apparently white milk and some other combinations were already banned. So I couldn't actually use jizz. It's not cum. It's not semen. Officially, it's not semen. So you can't report me. I'm clear of this one, okay? I had to end up using white cream. So this is the Joker. Clearly, it's like, think of whipping cream, you know, just like a wonderful fucking spectacle. Like the doors of The Shining open to reveal a enormous amount of fresh cream, which is then poured upon the Joker, and he becomes the JIZZLER. That's there's the origin story. All right, he was actually in. There's a crossover here. He was actually in the hotel in The Shining, and instead of the red blood when they opened, it was white cream, and that's what created the JIZZLER. that's what set it all off. Okay, we have an origin story. Hey, by the way, this property is not copywritten, so anyone who wants internet, you can take it. If you wanna create the JIZZLER, if you wanna create the JIZZLER comic book series, I will not do any copyright strike or try to stop you. I now release it into the public domain. I think we collectively have come up with this idea. This is one of those things where it's kind of like it's gone back and forth between my mind and the hive mind that is the chats. So I gotta say, this is a public domain property. If you want to and make cartoon series out of this, actually don't make them unless they're R-rated. Like, don't make them for children. That's not appropriate at all. But if you want to make an R-rated cartoon series out of the JIZZLER, you have both my permission and blessing. So yes, socialism at its finest. This is socialism. I think everyone has to realize this.
The R word, which is what I was called, even though I've been incredibly kind to him. I've been open-minded toward him, even though there are people trashing him and accusing him of terrible things online all day, every day. The
difference is that when people trash me, they're wrong. But when I trash you, I'm right.
Again, normally I might oppose this line of, let's just say, ego-driven narrative from the one Vaush, but in this case, I'm enjoying it. In this case, I am wholeheartedly here. This is facetious. All right, this is hyperbolic. This is being done to create a comedic experience, to entertain, if you will. But yes,
that's the critical difference. You understand? We're not paying debts down here. I'm just evaluating the takes that you're giving. Okay? I hope you weren't defending me just because you thought like, oh, I'm like a big lefty figure. We could work together and boost our bucks. Get some TYT dollars.
Right now, but it's 100% warranted.
You defend me because I'm right. I defend me because I'm right. And I attack you because you're wrong. I don't get, people always do this. People always do this like, well, I was nice to you. I don't care.
He didn't extend that same.
And that's so true, by the way. Look, there's a lot of content creators where if they've fucked up, and I think it's a fixable fuck up, my first order of business always is I slide in the DMs. I'll slide in the DMs. Always the first thing I do. And I'm like, hey, just by the way, so you know, this is like, and I've done this so many times and I've almost been listened to, I would say near universally when it comes to an issue where I'm like, this actually directly pertains to Indigenous people. And yes, I happen to be part Indigenous. I'm listened to. I really am. I'm like, hey, by the way, you shouldn't be following or retweeting Lakota Man. Lakota Man, the shit that he does, like, it's a lot of really yikesy stuff. And within the indigenous community, it's not good and it's not cool. Like, leave that to the libs who want to retweet his account and stuff like that. But, like, this is really someone who basically, you know, does a performative kind of, like, indigenous person or native stereotype for the benefit of white people and white supremacy. So that's what that is. And listen to. Like, just, and like, people respond, you know. So that's usually the first order of business. If something's blown up already, if something's already huge and part of the fucking culture war and the conversation, because that's ultimately what's happening here, right? Because of what Anna has done, it is now a talking piece. I now have a fucking clip of Sam Seder talking about being a semen distributor. I kid you not. Maybe I should show you all that. Maybe you won't believe me that this timeline actually exists. This timeline, again, that is so deeply funny and sad. It's so funny and sad.
You know, semen providers.
Sorry, semen providers.
In any way, you know, and look, I will say, like, you know, saying semen providers, I don't think disregards my manhood in some way. You know,
chaos is a letter.
Semen providers, in any way, you know, and look, I will say, like, you know, saying semen providers, I don't think disregards my manhood in some way. You know, semen providers, in any way, you know, and look, I will say, like, you know, saying semen providers, I don't think disregards my manhood. And
why are we doing this? Don't get me wrong. Parts of this are so profoundly funny. It's so absurd. It truly, it's just so weird. It's so bizarre. Like, that's why I'm like, was Jordan Peterson, was he prophetic? Was he actually predicting something that was about to occur? Some strange schism in the left, or semen in the left that was about to occur? Was Jordan Peterson and his cock milking shit actually trying to warn us? Did we not decipher the fucking Da Vinci Code? Did we not figure it out? Holy shit. It's, yes, foolishness. I completely agree with you. It's foolishness of the highest order. Of just the highest fucking order. This is not a problem. We are going to be fine. My dudes, my men, we are more than walking prostates. We are more than sentient semen dispensers. We are more than the JIZZLERs. Come on. We know this.
Open-mindedness and kindness toward me, so the answer is no.
It's not a open-mindedness. Again, like I said, there's no charitable interpretation of these takes. As for kindness, I use my language, you use yours. I don't deny that I'm meaner than you. That's fine. I'm consistent. It's not like it's only something I do with you. I use mean words, retarded.
See, here's a perfect example.
Vaush.
Here's where I disagree with Vaush. I disagree with Vaush. I think using that as a term, not for a self kind of, like, you know, not in the sense of, like, people use it who happen to have different forms of, like, you know, mental conditions in which they would be called the R slur, and they're like, I use it for myself as a loving reappropriation of the term. I'm like, I agree with that. I agree with that. I think that empowers it. It's the same thing as me using the F slur because I'm bisexual. I agree with using that. I don't mind calling myself that. And I sometimes love doing that. It could just give it, like, more power to myself. It empowers myself. But I wouldn't use that on someone who was homosexual as a form of, because then it empowers the slur. Now, me and Vaush disagree on this. And that's okay. That's okay. I'm not changing my stance. He's not changing his stance, but that's okay. It's okay. It's not the end. It's not like the left is destroying itself because we disagree on this issue. You know, it's not like the left, oh, the crazy leftist, the extreme left, oh, they're just trying to woke scold and SJW, woke police everything and destroy everything. They are a detriment to the movement. We have to get rid of them. Excise this extreme left. And meanwhile, like, I can't tell you how much shit I used to take because, like, one side thinks I'm a fucking tanky. I get one side of the internet being like, Lance, you're a fucking tanky communist sympathizer. Why won't you fucking speak out about this? Blah, blah, blah. And then there's another side that is like, Lance is a fucking shit lib. Like, Lance is fucking one of the most shit libs of all shit libs. Look at how he performs and look how he appears on TYT, the shit lib network. Clearly he's a lib. We always knew it. We knew he was a lib deep down. It's like, God fucking damn it. What was it? Olayemi caught so much fucking anger when she was going to go in the leftist mafia, because apparently a whole bunch of people who are in the kind of like Jimmy Dore sphere of activism and stuff were like, no, don't do that. No, David David's a liberal. What? The Illuminati's a lib. People got mad at me when I brought the Illuminati on for the very first time, and look what happened. Oh my God. Illuminati is pumping out absolute fucking bangers right now, absolute leftist bangers. Have you seen her recent video on Ronald Reagan? Just like watch that video and tell me the Illuminati is a liberal or a shitlib. Jesus Christ, this is what's wrong. Like, there is so much more power, there is so much more benefit to the left and leftist activism if someone as large as the Illuminati is becoming and doing this whole awakening arc where she's like, holy shit, going through all this. Like, she does homework, she does research, her videos are very heavily researched, and in that pursuit she sees all these corporations and she's like, this is fucked up. This seems to be an occurrence happening repeatedly under capitalism. Yeah, I'm going to talk about it. Yeah, I'm going to bring this up. Yeah, I'm really like, everyone's on a journey. I'm on a journey. We're all on journeys. We're all learning. All of us. We're just growing and evolving. You know, there's no end. There's no end to this until we die. That's it. Okay. The entire process up until the moment of death is going to be learning, expansion, growth, evolution. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful, wondrous thing. We all have to get on board with that aspect of it.
Just autistic to understand there's a difference between not defending bad takes and calling them retarded multiple times. Araxiel, you are too autistic to understand that this is not, Anna and I are not two friends.
That's not a Euro copy.
Stop with the parasociality, okay?
You know what's wild? Lost, I came to a conclusion the other day that I'd never thought of before. My history of interacting with police officers is so fucked up because it's always been that I can fucking talk my way out of any and almost any and all shitty police encounter I've ever had in my life because of my whiteness. And it's because I resemble a fucking colonizer more than I do a native person. Like that aspect, just coming to terms with that, that's fucked. That's straight racism. That's me having an advantage and being treated differently by fucking state police, by fucking enforcers of state power because I look more like a colonizer to them, because that's the image that they associate more with someone who's probably less probable to be doing or worthy of having an interaction, a bad interaction with the police. I look more like the white boys. I look more like white people, the good to-dos, you know? I'm the one who should probably get this privilege and power because, well, he's got his whole life ahead of him, though. You know, he may have fucked up this one time. He may be driving stone. He may have his weed pipe in the front, and I may see that. And that's normally the thing that I would pull over a visibly native person for and fucking arrest them on the spot. But you know what? He's got his life ahead of him because he's a good boy. He's a good boy, and he's gonna do better. And he deserves a second chance. He does. He does. He really does. He's going to be a great benefit to society, and he's going to be amazing. And then I hadn't processed it in those terms before. I'd never thought of it in that way, where I was just like, yep. I mean, that's my lived experience. My lived experience is watching friends who are visibly native get followed by fucking security guards when they go into Shoppers Drug Mart, and them always ignoring me. Yeah, always ignoring me. Doesn't matter what I'm doing. I could be shitting in the middle of the fucking Shoppers Drug Mart, and they would still just walk past me and be like, hey, what's going on over here? Hey, what's going on, son? What do you got in your pockets? What's going on? Nothing. It's like, well, I mean, I don't know. You fit the profile. Someone who might be putting some stuff into their pockets. Maybe you want to empty your pockets for me? Let's see what's going on there, son.
I like Anna. But my liking people in this space is contingent upon the effect they're having on this space. I'm not besties with her. I haven't gotten out and gotten boba with her. We haven't been to the movies together. I'm not out here defending her on premises that are tied to my personal feelings towards her. I defend her takes. I call a million people nobody cares. I call one Anna retarded, and you lose your mind. That's your problem. Everyone likes this. Everyone likes this.
Okay, I'm going to go on to the Sam Seder video now. We saw the Vaush take. The Vaush take was correct. Oh, sorry. Quick interlude, by the way. Eamon Hawk just put this out. This is such fire. Holy fuck, is this ever fire.
Ashley, Mike.
If you didn't know, he basically played Resident Evil 4 on the hardest difficulty setting, got all the accomplishments, unlocked everything, and then he's one of the first people ever, I believe, to actually have this version of the new ending to Resident Evil 4.
God, he actually saved you.
It's so
Hello,
base.
Father.
Leon, so how did it go? Did you kill all of the villagers?
No, I didn't kill a single one.
Well, what's wrong, Leon? You love killing.
Well, Mr. President, when I got to the village, I was prepared to kill them all, but something crazy happened. I was captured. Instead of killing me, they taught me their way of life. They took me in, and I became one of them. They weren't savages at all. They had books and toilets like normal, civilized humans.
What the hell are you talking about?
After living alongside them, I've learned about American imperialism and the role it's played in underdeveloped countries.
What the fuck?
I saw firsthand what our military-industrial complex does to poor countries.
Holy shit, so fucking based. Aiming animations, fucking spitting bars. Fuck's going on?
The sheer destruction, exploitation, and humiliation.
Jesus Christ, Leon. This is the fucking plot of Avatar. You can't be serious.
I'm dead serious. And another thing, Joe. I'm done working with you or any other pawn of the American Empire.
Get a grip! They kidnapped my fucking daughter. Ashley, please explain to him.
Leon is right. The U.S. wasn't interested in saving me. They were only interested in obtaining the precious amber deep under the village.
Ah, what the fuck is going on?
We're just messing with you, Biden. Of course I killed them all.
Oh my God, you motherfucker. You really got me there. That's so funny. But you did get the amber, right? Right?
Hey, by the way, all of you should go to twitch.tv/AemonHawk. Go watch his Twitch channel. Last time I was there, I got to raid in, had the pleasure. He was doing a lot of cool things. He was actually Hasanabi. He turned into Hasanabi, and then you could do different things. You could do like commands in the chat and turn him into Bernie Sanders if you wanted and stuff. It was so much fun. It was a blast. He uses technology in ways that I don't think any of us truly understand. And it's pretty incredible. Did anyone get an S rating in the game? I believe the S++ or something. Jink obviously does not respect your intellect and thinks he's superior because he outright said, ignoring your info, you were wrong, then lied about your interaction with them, acting out a lens that he doesn't exist because he thinks you're easy to lie about, doesn't watch your show. What do we call that? A straw lance. He's going after me as a straw lance. I got so many weird emails today, by the way. just people straight like, gee, you don't respect survivors, fuck you, blah blah blah. I'm like, Jesus Christ, we're all so angry about this. Sam addresses the tweet. There we go.
Hey, this is John. I'm calling from.
So I'm sure you all saw the meme that evolved over a couple different generations. Here, let me pull the original meme up, making fun of the community episode that you all know and love. The zero hour hero, who is in the Serfs.tv chat, made this, and it was kind of funny because I think a lot of people were wondering what's gonna happen. They were kind of like, oh well. So Sam's been on vacation, and he hasn't chimed off on any of this. He hasn't sounded off. We haven't heard the Sam Seder opinion, and he is the daddy of the left. You know, he's everyone's daddy. He's kind of like the Pedro Pascal of the left. Pedro Pascal obviously being the surrogate daddy to all of us, but then he's the leftist surrogate daddy. So there's multiple daddies. You can have a lot of daddies. It's okay, all right? It's fine if Keanu Reeves is your daddy, fine if Pedro Pascal is your daddy. You can have a lot of daddies, all right? You can have a lot of people that you admire, respect, and look up to who also look after you in a strange parasocial way that isn't actually real. That's fine. But in this case, it was gonna be like, so what was going down? Like what? What is happening over here? What's all my lefty colleagues up to? What are they all doing? What are they doing now?
Hey, this is John. I'm calling from Indiana.
John from Indiana, what's on your mind?
Well, hey, I just wanted to say, first off, I'm a big fan. I've been listening to you guys for a couple of years now.
Great.
And I really appreciate listening in on news commentary that.
I had an existential crisis about this all day. It's the most engaged thing I've ever made. It was 10-minute shitpost. I've been a social media manager before, but none of the things I put in effort popped off, but a 10-minute shitpost does. I have internet. It was a mistake. Isn't it wild, 0 hour feel? So the things you're going through has happened to me multiple different times in my internet history. One of the first times it ever happened, and I did have an existential crisis, was when my YouTube channel was taken down, and then on April Fools of all days, and then like the left banded together to bring the channel back, and then like it went from deleted, and then just nothing I could do, and YouTube was like, fuck you, to YouTube apologizing, that arc, and then I was seeing my like internet notifications go from like, you know, 5 a day, 6 a day to just thousands. I was like, because it's not normal. it's like it takes a while to adapt to that, and it takes and there's a lot of people who at some point or another they realize they can't do that, because obviously it's not healthy or normal to have thousands of strangers have interactions and parasocial relationships with you in both directions, both love and hate, you know, where there are people who are like, you should unalive yourself, I hate you so much, I have a fucking sexual obsession with you, and then other people who are like, I love you so much, you're like my daddy, this is amazing, you give me so much hope for the world, you're so beautiful, I hope no harm ever comes to you. And in both directions, just being like it's not normal for the human brain. You don't sit there and you're like, oh, I feel the same I've always felt. This is this is normal. Yeah. Basically, I was the same yesterday than I am right now. Nothing has changed whatsoever. A lot more people who didn't know who I was have a lot of opinions about me. That part's weird. That's certainly a little different. Certainly a little strange and different than I was last night.
Doesn't make me feel gaslit. So
doesn't make you feel like what?
Hopeless.
Oh, hopeless. All right. Well, we do.
You do get more used to it, I think, as it scales up and you recognize that you're okay with it. But it is fucked. But yeah, if you get to a certain size and you're still fine with having that volume of strangers love or hate you, then you may be built for that kind of level of exposure.
Do our best.
The Chudge have discovered me today. Let's be real fun. See, that's it.
But,
you're not like it's. I wasn't used to having thousands of chuds go at me
without being too inflammatory.
You don't know me. This isn't me.
You're
like, what?
Because I feel like that is not getting the right kind of attention. And so,
Okay.
and I know you were gone yesterday, Sam.
Yeah, I think.
I think did you see I commented on this yesterday?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
And I know she's a friend of the show, and I know that, you know, her and Emma are personal friends, and so, you know, I don't think that it, you know, you need to like completely lambast someone, but I don't know. I felt like, for instance, the clipping of that with the title that she's not anti-trans was not necessarily the right. To me, it just seemed kind of tone deaf. I guess the problem I had was that, like, that tweet in and of itself, it wasn't great, but I think the bigger context was the replies. It got very combative.
This is from last week. Sam was on vacation. Yeah, so that's the only shitty part about the memes. Sam had the right take on all this, as you're about to hear, way ahead of the game, way before things blew up, way before things got just wild and savage. And now it's just uncharted jizz fucking territory, you know?
A lot of Nazis popping in, agreeing with her. Ben Shapiro's retweeting her. Carrie Lake popping in, saying, hey, a broken clock. You know, and some of the replies from her, I'll be honest, were indistinguishable from something that, you know, J.K. Rowling would say.
But within the context of like her larger commentary on trans people, I don't think that's a fair critique to put her in the same boat as J.K. Rowling. And
good faith.
You can have, I think,
friendly
quibbles with the way the video is titled. I didn't even know that was getting clipped, and I don't have control over any titling. So, but the substance of what I said that's not
anything about any one that's just more of like a critique of, like, you know, just show formatting.
Yeah, well, let me since Emma addressed this yesterday, let me comment on it, and I will say this. I mean, in terms of just, and I don't want to spend too much time because this is just sort of a process thing about the titling and this and that. When the way that we do this show is we do the show and then another person clips the show. Now there's on occasion I'll say like, oh, somebody really wanted this phone call or this and that, and I'll send a message. But part of the reason why we do that is because I don't want what we do on the show to be dictated to how I think it's going to do on YouTube. That, you know, to the way that I can insulate the show from like sort of chasing clicks. That's the way I do it. I do think that the guy who clips the show, sometimes like it's his job to sort of get clicks. And so he may do that in different ways. So, but that's aside, that's a second order thing. Here's my feeling. And I will also say, I didn't read into the whole thread of that because I was literally constantly moving yesterday. But look, I don't have any reason to believe, based upon her commentary in the past, that Anna is anti-trans. But tweeting out something like that, in my estimation, is the tweet itself, the act and the tweet in this context, right? Is an anti-trans act. I just think it is. Yeah. Because, you know, and context is everything in this case.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. No notes. Sam gets it. Sam gets it. We have platforms. We all do. Every single large leftist content creator has a platform that the average person does not have. We have privilege. We have an incredible privilege. Part of that privilege is that we have to listen to the communities in which we are advocating for. That's part of the deal. We got to do that. So when people within those communities are telling one of us, hey, by the way, this actually hurts us more than it helps us, we got to listen. I know Hassan Piker caught a lot of fucking shit for the fucking Hogwarts Legacy stuff, but he did ultimately not do the wrong thing. You can say he did it for the wrong reasons. You can say he pushes up. You can say he pushed against it. You can say he pushed against any of the fucking logic of it, whatever. But he still did not stream himself, despite the temptation of the huge numbers that XQC was getting, play that game and stream that game and promote that game on his live stream. Even if he was going to do it and run a charity, blah, 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 whatever you want to say, he listened to the trans community and he was upset and he didn't want to do that thing. And that's like, that's a massive fucking difference. That's huge. Because ultimately, it's not always going to be easy. This like, everyone has to realize this. It's going to get harder and harder the worse things get. The worse the right starts pushing up against queer people, the worse the right starts trying to legislate certain members of the queer community out of existence, the more they do that, it will become harder to openly and proudly advocate for them. It's going to become more tough. It's going to become something that you will catch more fucking hatred for online, in your life, in your community, if that is what people are pushing in one direction. So you have to be willing to push back when the going gets tough, when it's hard. It's not always going to be socially convenient and acceptable at every point of the story. Yes, it's amazing now that every single corporation becomes queer for a month. You know, that part is awesome. Okay, that's good for, you know, trans people feeling safer, because there are large brands that are also like trans rights or human rights. Massive corporations being like, trans people are valid and should exist. That part's good. That part's awesome. That I like, time and time again, I know, especially seeing how hard the lives of, like, you know, certain aspects of LGBTQ plus communities can be online. I know why they do this. I know why they, like, I know, I get it. I understand it. If like, people shit on them all, especially leftists, shit on them all the time, where it's like, you fucking libs, ACAB for life, why would you ever blah blah blah, oh, you goddamn libs, look at this trans person being like, it's a really cool thing that all these corporations blah blah blah. No, recognize what they're doing. They are doing rainbow washing. It like, do not be blind to what the purpose of this is and what this truly, it's like, it's very easy to see as a leftist, but it's the same thing with Mr. Beast. Multiple things can be true at once. It's a good thing, you know, that Mr. Beast is standing up for his trans friend. That's based. That's fucking awesome. The biggest YouTuber in the world, if that makes just one trans kid feel safe suddenly, that's a net benefit. That's a positive. That's a beautiful thing. It should be celebrated. And that's why I've made already a tweet about it, saying like, this is good. This is a good thing. Okay? Because this will have that effect. Multiple things can be true at once. Multiple things can be real. Multiple things can be accurate. And that's why this entire saga and fiasco, it sucks. It sucks.
One of the issues I had with Sam Harris back in the aughts was that right in the midst of a debate in this country about torture, he writes up a thing in Huffington Post, which was basically the equivalent of Twitter, maybe bigger than Twitter in terms of, like, you know, broadcasting this stuff, you know, a piece that he titled In Defense of Torture. And, you know, even if I thought that his thought experiment and whatnot had like any sort of like substance, which I didn't, but even if I did, to tweet that out in the midst of a debate about torture in this country is clearly a political act in and of itself, and he knows what he's doing there. Now, I don't know if Anna was, sort of how conscious she was of this or what, but in addition to the fact that no one is forcing anybody to accept any type of like, description of who they are, and I'm sure there are some quarters. I wouldn't even say quarters, 16ths, eighths, whatever it is, where people exclusively use language like birthing people as opposed to women and birthing people. But it really has no impact on our life. And it has a huge impact on the lives of people who are trans. And, look, there are, it's not easy for older people, in my estimation, or people just not used to it, to always remember to have some level of sensitivity to these things. And people should do their best. I mean, I don't have a rule about it on the show, but for me personally, I always attempt to say, if we're talking about abortion laws, I try and say women and people who can get pregnant, as just because it costs me nothing, and it shows respect to people out there, and particularly at a time where there are people who are under assault for being trans. There are families 100%. Who are under assault for trying to get their kids some type.
If you don't believe this, look at one of the comments that I found. I've anonymized the person because I obviously don't want to have to put them on blast if they don't want to be on blast, but this is from our YouTube comments on the video that I released on this topic. As a trans masked person, inclusive language is critical and can be the difference between life and death for trans masks. I have been denied health insurance claims and turned down for medical care because my gender marker was changed to M. I know trans masks are afraid to use their names of change and change their gender marker because they'll be unable to access healthcare. And this stuff is happening in Los Angeles in more, quote, progressive hospitals. This is a problem happening because pregnancy, reproductive, OBGYN care is legally referred to as women healthcare in medicine. That's why, that's what the rebuttal to TYT's transphobia should be about. That, along with everything else that happens to trans folks, that the lack of inclusive legal medical terms is killing people, and that TYT apparently thinks that's fine. And like, it sucks. It sucks that it's gotten to this point where we have to just call this for what it is. But these are the fucking stakes. This is what's happening. This is the reality for trans masculine individuals. And they are like, if we're standing up for their rights, if we're trying to say it, I'm saying we cis people, if we're like, yes, I trans rights are human rights. I got the t-shirt. I got the sticker. I got the pin, the badge. Yeah, trans rights are human rights. If we're going to say that, then we have to fight for trans rights. This is one of the aspects of it. It might not be easily understood at first. I get that part. There are parts of this entire aspect of gender theory and stuff that I have had to learn, and I've had to learn over time, and the parts when I've been wrong, I have been dutifully and very friendly and lovingly corrected by trans friends, trans content producers, trans people on the internet who have told me, Lance, you fucked up. And that's normal. It's normal. We are going to fuck up as cis people. We are going to fuck up as cis oppressors, all right? And in our pursuit of this, we have to listen. We have to platform, we have to listen to trans voices who are saying, this is a real issue. Please listen to me, listen to us. We need you to be on this side of the fight because the other side of the fight works towards our oppression. Like, that's it. If you're not doing this
type of medical care, in some way, gender affirming care, or to deal with this, it is particularly incumbent upon us to show that.
If you're not the same person you were 10 years ago, then you're not doing it right. Hey, Here's a cool fact. This is science. Your cells in your bodies that make you up, every single one of you who's listening to my voice right now through the power of the internet, the cells that make up your bodies are constantly reproducing, and they are also dying. When you go like this, you are shedding tons and tons. I did that in real time. I shed thousands and thousands of skin cells. The cells in your body are, because they are dividing, you are also technically, if you go a certain amount of years, and I believe it's within a 10-year mark or something like that, you are literally not the same person you were. It's like there's not a single cell in your body at that point that is the same as it were. Now, the reason why that's important and why it's neat to think about is that this is kind of a metaphor for how you change your mind as well. You can not only grow as a person, you can literally become a different being. A different being. There's not a single cell in your body at that point that is the same that it was before. They have changed. You can change. We can all change. And we do. And the door has to be open for that change. The door has to be open for people who want to come along and be like, hey, by the way, I was wrong. Hey, guess what? 10 years ago, my trans takes, probably transphobic as fuck. I wasn't talking on the internet, but goddamn, they would have been shitty. They would have been super shitty. And that's just the reality. That's what I knew. That's what my truth was. That's what the general zeitgeist was at. That's where people were talking about this kind of stuff. If, like, hey, I'm a bisexual. My experience in high school was hiding that aspect of myself and using the F-slur all the fucking time against people in a derogatory way. Yes, towards other people. Maybe those other people, I don't know, were actually queer or found out they were queer later in life. But like, that's, yes, it's a real aspect of me. And I'm sure the vast majority of people listening to this, you fucked up too. Because we all fuck up. It's like this, everyone does. Every fucking person fucks up. It doesn't matter. Like, this is a universality. You can fuck up if you're a black dude and you're suddenly being racist towards native people. It's a thing that can happen. Yes, and does all the time. There's fucking racism from one community to an entire other community. Happens all the time. And it's not like you should suddenly be canceled. It's not like, oh, what said the word? What word has been said? Slur, person is done, over. No, just learn, just grow. Like, there is no cancel culture left. There is no fucking the woke mafias, the woke mobs coming for you. If you step out of turn just one time, baby, you are fucked. You are fucked. And look at this. That is the narrative that the right has ran with this. The fucking the Daily Beast. No, not Daily Beast. Sorry, Daily Mail article. The news article by the Daily Mail. That's how they framed it. That this was the woke mob coming for Anna Kasparian, coming to cancel Anna Kasparian because she stepped out of line. Yep. If you don't have trans ideology and orthodoxy in all its forms, its purest form, you step out line just a little teeny bit, just a fucking crumb, then they'll crush you. The woke mob crushes you, and look at them crush. Look how they crushed. And all of us are just sitting there like, oh shit, what? No. Just if you're from a place of love, I say this take ain't it. That's all. Nothing more. So this is wild. I don't have the power to cancel people. I can't cancel them. I can't suddenly turn them against me. Hey everyone, Chico's here. Hi Chico. Hi buddy. How's it going? Oh, you're so excited. Oh, it's so good to see you. It's been a while. You're wet from the rain, no less. Oh, and now he's off. He's like, I want food.
Level
running to mommy.
Of sensitivity to the people who are impacted and to this moment. And so, you know,
and it was disavowed while you had the soft gloves on. Okay, so the soft gloves, and like, we gotta be honest, Matt Binder, all right, for all his beauty as a person, Matt Binder was the first one who was listening, and when we were talking on the Leftist Mafia and being like, I think everyone's going a little too light, and we don't have to mince words here, I'm gonna get out in front of this and say it. And he was the first one to have a very, in my assessment, critical position on Anna. And after he had finished, that's when Olayemi started doing her speech that is now infamous on the internet. And that's when I broke. If I'm being real, I did break. I broke. I laughed my fucking ass off because she was so right. And I agree, and we find ourselves today in the situation now where it's like I'm still kind of confused as to what exactly is happening, but here we are.
I just thought that the tweet itself, and I don't know
Well,
what her intentions
no, I got you.
were
I
about
got
it,
you.
but the idea that saying
It's weird. It is
you know,
weird. It is weird. Of all of us, it's weird. And like, I gotta be honest, here's just yet another example maybe of the white privilege. But like, when I was getting attacked, I really felt, I'm gonna ask Olayemi if this was a similar experience. I felt like people were just doing an outpouring of support for me. Y'all were so beautiful and sweet, and I'm not trying to disparage any single person who took the time to DM me in every one of my different social medias. I was just flooded with love. The love was just unreal. They were like, oh, this is so unfair. I can't believe this is happening. You were so good faith. You had baby gloves on, blah, 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 blah. But I hope everyone was doing just as much, if not more, to Olayemi. Because she was also getting a lot of fucking hate and a lot of fucking people on the internet twisting her words, taking her out of context, trying to be like, you know, she is fucking speaking out of turn. This is wrong. How dare you? You know, these are some of the people that gave you your first big breaks, blah, blah, blah. You should be so grateful that they allowed you to come on their show and debate them on prison abolition. You should be so grateful. How dare you? How dare you? And that's also fucked up. That's really weird. I don't get why Olayemi was the target of so much of this at the start. And also, in addition to that, I wasn't a target until I defended her. When I went to bat, when I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna stand up for Olayemi in this case. She's right. I'm sorry, she's right. And she was so nice. And she was so nice and so friendly. She was just the baby gloves that were being used. Come on,
Clean up your room.
It was precious. It was goddamn precious, okay? Like, there are clips. David Dole has already put them out there. There are clips that David Dole has put up on his video that he released today, which was also super great. David, awesome video. There was clips in there where, like, you can see Olayemi is straight up saying, like, hey, I love Anna. I love Anna, love her, and, you know, I love the work that she does. But, and like, yeah, that's not confrontational. I don't say that about motherfuckers I hate. I would never, ever in a million years say I love Matt Walsh. I would never think that or tweet that. He is a just vile monster of the highest order. I despise that man. I do. I fucking, he is so twisted and gross and just disgusting in so many ways. And he's just fucking trying to profit and make money off making trans kids' lives scary. You are an actual monster. He is an actual, like, when they're like, hey, by the way, at night, a monster might be sleeping under your bed. That's Matt Walsh. That Matt Walsh might be under your bed. He was the monster I was warned about. He was the monster who is a fucking weird-ass creep who is just sleeping under children's beds being like, I can't wait to see their genitals. I can't wait to visualize their genitals. Like, oh, God, horrifying. Yeah, like there's a Pixar movie that can never get made. It would just be too dark. It would be too dark and too horrifying if that existed. I would never start a sentence like that. If I genuinely, like, if I respected the person, I would do the exact same thing as Olayemi. I would be like, I love you. I do. And I love everything that you've done in terms of fighting for workers' rights, leftism, progressive politics. I love all of that. It's what I was saying. These were my words, my opinions. I love you. And this take is wrong and benefits people who want to target trans people. And it's dangerous. And like, leftists should not be giving the right wing all of the fuel they need right now. Why? I think, like, why now? Why now? Why? Like, you notice how everyone is confused? Do you notice how, like, Vaush? Did you listen to Vaush? Vaush is like, it doesn't make sense. Honestly, it doesn't, because both of them agree with us. Like, our take on this, verbatim, Anna Kasparian agrees with. We've seen the tapes. We've seen the receipts. She agrees. We're on the same page. Exact same page. Then why? Why? I just keep asking myself this. Today, when I saw that whole, like, I don't know if you've seen the whole new Jank video. I gotta show you this. Okay, hold on. Sorry, Sam. I'm gonna put you on a slight different chorus. Twitter. And this was like, I thought Hasanabi was supposed to fix this whole thing. I thought Miss Hasanabi was preparing this. And it's not happening. It's getting worse. It got way worse today. Way worse. It got sad. Dan Abrams, fucking center right, Dan Abrams, hosting Cenk of the Young Turks to talk about how the left has lost their minds.
But unadulterated and highly outspoken lefties. One of the first names you have to think of is Cenk Uygur, the founder of the Young Turks, which was one of the first liberal digital media giants, and now has more than 5 million subscribers.
Now it's like that's why I'm saying we're in a speed run. This is wild, okay? We're in a speed run right now, and it's happening in real time before our eyes, and I'm astonished. I'm like, yes, I'm genuinely confused. I'm genuinely just like, why?
Subscribers on YouTube, more than 6 billion views. It bills itself as the largest online news show in the world. So when Cenk speaks against the far left, I listen. And that's what happened recently when a well-known progressive stalwart, Anna Kasparian, a co-host of The Young Turks.
Do you notice how he is framing this? Do you hear how he is framing this? Do you hear how he is, the words coming out of his mouth? Progressive, leftist, progressive, prominent leftist, famous progressive. And yes, they're coming to the conclusion as well that it seems like the left has gone too far. They have succumbed to the woke mind virus. The woke mind virus has poisoned their brains, and clearly now they're not thinking. And so the only people who are normal, rational, and who are politically effective are the right. You know, I mean, they're not trying to police our language, not trying to say that you have to call your foot X. They're not doing that. No. They don't care about that kind of shit. They're not caring about the language policing. They're not doing the birthing person stuff. And yet these radical leftists, they've lost their minds. Do you see this? The serfs fucking demanding people be called birthing person. It's definitely been a cornerstone of his entire career. I've been fighting for this. Oh, yes.
Tweeted, quote, "I'm a woman. Please don't ever refer to me as a person with a uterus, birthing person, or person who menstruates. How do people not realize how degrading this is? You can support the transgender community without doing this."
Oh, Mr. McAllister Zero, thank you for the gift of the
Now, to most people who don't live in a Twitter bubble,
Foley, thank you for the prime.
So obvious that it's not even worth saying.
Rosa or Rosa 14, thank you so much.
Those who
Quite
do live in the
185, thank you
Twitter
so much.
bubble
Illuminati,
descended,
thank you again.
calling her a Karen, a transphobe, a TERF.
No, we're not using those terms. All of us were so friendly. No. See, you're thinking of what I felt like fucking days later when I was like, what? They're holding this. They're holding ground. They're gonna take this position, and then at the same time, I'm gonna have to be on the other end of this, where I'm like, wait, what? What? No, don't wait. You agree with me? Here's a video. Like Anna Kasparian debates Anna Kasparian. You are on the exact same position as me on this issue. Why are we doing this? Wait, what? Why?
By the way, is a new term I learned, which is apparently slang for trans exclusionary radical.
You did not just learn that, Dan. What? This is the first time you've heard TERF? No. You don't get to lie like this.
Feminist, intended as a slur used by some woke activists. And the controversy is only...
A slur? No, I refuse. I know technically people are like, well, Lance, technically. Actually, Lance, which is a fine what a slur is. A TERF wouldn't fall under that. Like, I'm not listening to you. I think this line of you want to win this semantics argument is just utter foolishness, because the true utility here is calling TERFs TERFs. So TERFs are fucking TERFs. It's a descriptor. Yes, they are TERFs, and fuck TERFs. That's like that's my position. We can have a lot of fun, can't we, going on the internet and having all these little debates. Yes, well, technically, that term, if like, it's a logical fallacy if you actually apply it universally in this way. Okay, cool. Like, you can have that. You want to have those little fun toys to play with in the corner? That's awesome. Fucking, okay, enjoy. Cool. I don't give a fuck right now. Like, when there is an actual legit danger to fucking trans people, that's what's important. And so, yes, TERFs are TERFs and fuck TERFs. That's the blah, blah, blah. There we have it. You win the debates. I am not debate pro. I'm not debate man. I'm not debator. Fair enough. You win all that. I don't give a fuck. I genuinely do not care. Fuck TERFs. Fuck TERFs.
Continued to grow. To her credit, Kasparian didn't back down, tweeting this week, LOL, the meltdowns over wanting to be referred to as a woman rather than a birthing person is pretty wild. I'll never apologize for that, especially as a biological woman who's had a lifetime of being told I'm less than. I'm a woman, no apologies. And now the big boss, Uyghur, has jumped into the fray to defend Kasparian. And it's all descending into the type of thing many on
I'm not a liberal. I hate liberals. I call out liberals all the time. Liberals hate me. Like, there's so many liberals in my audience who will just kind of like flirt with me because they think I'm funny. They jump into a couple streams and they see me making fun of right-wingers and are like, oh, whoa, Serfs is pretty funny. This is cool. He's making fun of Tim Pool. Yeah, fuck Tim Pool. He's a right-winger. I'm on board. I'm a liberal. And then all of a sudden I'll have a take that they're like, wait, what? What? Wait, Lance? I thought Lance was based. What? He doesn't love capitalism like us? He doesn't love neoliberalism like us? He hates that shit? He's fighting against neoliberalism? Oh my, yeah. It's so bizarre though. To this day, like, there's certain people who are like, hey, don't fuck with Lance. He's a liberal. He's a shit lib. And on the other side, I'm being called a tinky. What is it, everybody? Y'all are confused. I know in my heart of hearts what I am. I wear it on my sleeve. I'm very vocal about it. I don't have to posture. I don't have to hide my power levels. There's no power level deception going on here. I'm 100% just through and through a socialist. I genuinely care about liberating all peoples. I want to empower workers. I want them to own the means of production. That's what I'm all about. That's me. The more I go down my pathway, my journey, the more I figure out stuff about my own self and, you know, my own views and viewpoints, and go down the reading, you know, reading literature and theory and other people, and reading not just, you know, the typical theorists, but all over the place, reading women, reading black leftists, stuff like that, native leftists. It's affirming what I feel in my heart of hearts. A lot of it is like, oh, this makes sense. It clicks. It's like all the stars are aligning on this. But that's funny.
On the far right will
liberals
no doubt delight in, and are all.
By the way, that's why you know this is a center-right show, because they're framing this way. It's like, oh yes, the liberals are eating the liberals.
Right.
It would seem.
Liberals eating liberals, so to speak. But this is about more than that. Uyghur, who will join us in a moment, is trying to talk common sense to his fellow liberals, pointing out the extreme fringes are dominating the conversation and trying to silence or marginalize the more moderate majority in this country, in much the same way those on the far right fringes do. Uyghur writes, left-wing extremists help right-wing so much. 66% of this country is left-wing, according to polling on policy issues. They don't believe in defunding the police or being called Latinx or calling women birthing people or...
They're all non-real things. They're not real problems. They're made up right-wing culture war bullshit. If you are an actual leftist, you should be able to see through all this stuff. If you, like... Please learn about false consciousness. You know, you don't have to read Marx. You don't have to go down the Engels pathway. I don't give a fuck, but just watch a single video on false consciousness and how billionaires are trying to do this, and they do it so effectively. They distract us all with non-problems. Non-problems dominate. Culture war centerpiece, especially right-wing ones. Fucking M&Ms aren't fuckable. Dr. Seuss is no longer bisexual. This book needs to be cancel cultured. The N-word isn't appropriate anymore for white people to use. Why can't white people use the N-word anymore? And it's like, this is not the real world. These are not real. This is not the real thing that actually is hurting the material conditions of people. But, oh, is it distracting? Oh, yes, please keep on going about Latinx. Yeah. If it were not for Latinx, we would have complete and total communism. Latinx is the only thing standing in the way of communism, everybody.
Abolishing prisons. Anyone who claims they do is lying. Now, this is a conversation we've been actively having on this show for more than a year now. So joining us now is Cenk Uygur, founder and host of the Progressive Young Turks. Cenk, thanks for coming on the program. Really appreciate it. All right, so...
Not like this. Like this.
So what is going on here, and why are you getting involved in this?
Yeah. So, Dan, look, we've got a massive problem in the country overall that no one is representing what I call the silent majority, which is about 2/3 of this country that I would argue is indisputably progressive. So I could show you the polling on it, you name it, paid family leave, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, universal health care, minimum wage.
This is recent. This is this morning.
The country is
this
progressive.
Is today.
The
this
problem
is
the Democratic Party doesn't represent them because they're
this
the
is
corporate
a speed
establishment and they represent their donors.
This is a fucking speed run.
Well, obviously the Republicans don't represent them. So that just leaves us progressives out here in the wilderness. Well, the problem with the progressive movement now is folks on social media from time to time completely misrepresented. Now, I want to be clear. What I would call the extreme left don't have bad intent. I think the right wing has bad intent. I think it's
thank you. So I'm doing bad things, but I'm doing bad things with good intentions. That's it. Yeah, because I'm like an abolitionist. That's why I believe those kind of things. It's foolish, misguided. I'm just a scamp. I'm a little scamp. Yeah. But that's why. Okay, good to know. All right. Well, yeah, best of intentions.
Arguable whether the corporate wings of both parties have bad intent, but the extreme left is not helping our situation. So when you've got 2/3 of the country on your side, lean into winning issues. And by the way, trans rights is a winning issue. And we've defended trans rights probably longer than any show in American media.
What? Okay, Donald Trump. What? No. Citation needed. I'm not saying that you don't have a track record of sending. You do. That's why everyone is giving you so many chances here. Everyone, including the trans community. The trans community, so many big names have not been talking about this because they're like, what the fuck? You are normally allies. Why are you popping off about this? Why are you going on center-right programs to be like, the left has lost its mind. The extreme left, they got a little too uppity. They're demanding too many things. Things have gotten out of control.
Yeah, history. Okay. So now when we say something simple like we're positive women want to be called women and they don't want to be called birthing people or people.
No one is on the other side of this issue. We know. Yes, I agree. I do not want to call women birthing people exclusively. I just think we should have inclusive language. There should be a comma afterwards because there's more people who can give birth than cis women. We're here now. We get this. We understand trans men can give birth. Non-binary people can give birth. They can be female presenting. They can present as females, be non-binary, give birth, and still not be women. So they should be included in the conversation about their rights getting taken away from them. That's the fight. It's a comma. We are missing that. This is the disconnect in this discourse that has blown up to this ridiculous fucking clown shoes degree. That's right there. The essence is the fucking comma. No one is saying women cannot be called women. It is only right-wingers who say trans women are not women that are trying to take that away. That is what they are doing. They are wrong. They are wrong. That is a form of bigotry. Trans women are women. That's like, Jesus Christ. And everyone is on board with this. And in addition to cis women who are having their rights taken away by fucking fascists taking their rights away, there are non-binary people and there are trans men who also are having their rights taken away in addition to having their rights taken away for being trans. Multiple things are true at once. Multiple realities exist. That's why, if you are still debating this, then it is by design. At this point, it is by fucking design. That's it.
With uteruses. And by the way, some, like Anna, are actually offended by that. You're not being inclusive, you're being exclusive, and you're choosing to fight on losing ground for no reason when we have all the winning ground.
Boondock Dragon says, my kid is a birthing person, but not a woman. I'm a woman, but not a birthing person. This is seriously not that hard. Yes, I am neither a woman nor a birthing person. Not hard. I'm a man. I'm a man. And just by being a man, if there's also semen donators or people who can have semen and give semen, or whatever term will become culturally acceptable to refer to people who can do that because we're not defined by our organs, it does not take anything away from me as a dude. The existence of trans men does not make my life worse. It makes the male and the masculine experience infinitely more beautiful, infinitely more complex than we ever thought possible. It is a thing of wonder. It is incredible. It is so fucking cool. And every single topic I've ever tried to explore in my life, when I start to learn more about it and it becomes more strange and complex, whether that be like cosmology, where it's like, hey, did you know about fucking quantum foam string theory? And I'm like, I don't fully understand this. This is wild to me, but it's so cool. It's so cool. All of this is cool. The more we learn, the more we expand, the more knowledge we ingest, it becomes infinitely more beautiful and infinitely cooler. This does not take away from me as a person at all. It makes the fucking male experience infinitely more beautiful, infinitely more wondrous. And I'm so here for this. It's so fucking based and awesome. Not going to be fighting this.
Around in the world. So... And Dan, the other problem here is the right wing, when you have someone that agrees with them a little bit, like Chris Rock will take big pot shots at Republican white males, etc. But then he'll agree a little bit on cancel culture, and the right wing will say, that's it, Chris Rock's one of us, right? On the left wing, we have the exact opposite situation, where somebody could fight for you for 200 years in a row.
No.
The minute they don't agree with the most extreme thing you've ever said, that's it, we're cutting them off their...
No, this is not extreme. This is not hard. This is a very, very easy ask. For trans people to ask cis people, hey, can we be included in this conversation where our own rights might be taken away? That's a very easy ask. Holy shit. It takes so little fucking away from my fucking cis experience. This is not a cross to bear. This is not a challenge, you know? Like, I know some people are like, using xenogenders is hard. Using genders like Z and Zer is difficult because I don't use them in everyday life. I don't think this is very reasonable for people to ask me to suddenly use these, like, you know, new pronouns. They're very, very difficult and complex. This is not that. Not at fucking all. Me as a cis person to add that to the end of my sentence, to give a comma and suddenly be like, and in addition to trans men and birthing people, or people who can give birth, are also affected by this legislation. Oh, that's so simple, so easy. It's like, this is not a challenge. It's like, honestly, almost a pleasure, because I get to fucking flex and virtue signal about how I know new terms. You know, again, it's the weirdest thing to be like, this was too far. The extreme left, the extreme, like, this is extreme? What? To be slightly more inclusive? This take that you agreed with, that both of you were like, oh, here's our position. It's pretty weird that the right is suddenly saying that birthing people is somehow fucking going to replace the term woman. Cis women have to be called a different thing. No, it's in addition to, comma.
Right wings, they're fascists, they're transphobes, etc.
Yeah.
We got to win elections so we can protect the LGBTQ community and all of us.
This is a losing issue. Poll after poll is showing that Republicans are not primarily concerned. Not Republicans, Americans are not primarily concerned on whether or not trans people are destroying their lives. This is not an issue for them. In fact, what is driving more people to the polls right now, and what is actually doing these upsets that everyone was like, the midterms were so like, what the hell? There's a combination of factors. One of those happens to be, half the population of the United States, women, cis women, losing their fucking bodily autonomy, fucking energizes people, energizes women, men, and non-binary people who care about civil rights, human rights, and fucking gets them to the polls, drives them. That's what gets people angry and makes them want to activate and do shit, IRL, like voting. And that has been a crucial issue. Comma. Trans men and non-binary people as well are also affected by this. Their rights are being taken away, in addition to all of the fucked up shit that is happening towards trans people. In addition to. So this is majority affecting cis women. This is fucking disgusting patriarchal bullshit that we all need to fucking fight. and crush and be against and be opposed to. Yes, 100%. And also, there are other people affected by this. There are other people affected by this who are having their bodily autonomy taken away and being forced to give birth against their will. That is happening to trans men. That is happening to non-binary people who can give birth. And it is crucial that we acknowledge them, that we acknowledge their lived experience, that we acknowledge their truth. Like it's not just a meme. It's like this actually has real world consequences, and nothing is happening. Nothing in the opposite direction. Nothing's happening. There is not any leftist who is saying all of you, every single one of you, women, cis women, can no longer be referred to as women. You're now birthing people, birthing pods. You're now womb havers. Yes, those of the womb. Yes, the moon's blood. Like no, none of that. No leftist is asking for this. Inclusive language is not meant to be exclusive. It's meant to be inclusive. We are adding more people into this category that are having their human rights taken away. That's what's happening. There's more people whose human rights are being taken away. Yes, this is primarily affecting women. They are the majority group that is having their rights taken away. In addition to them, there are other people who are affected by this. Trans men, non-binary people who give birth. Not hard. Oof, it's so easy. Does not ruin my day. It's not hard. Did not that set me back. I'm not like, oof, wow, that was a struggle. Some days being cis, I tell you, it's a hard life. It's a hard life being cis. It's just, I'm just generally accepted for who I am, broadly speaking, by all of society. In fact, I'm normalized as just being normal by virtue of existing. That's hard. That's hard. It's just fucking hard just to be fucking accepted, broadly speaking, by everyone. My friends, my family, my mom and dad don't question what happened, or my mom and dad don't fucking get mad at me for just who I am based on the fact that I happen to be something that isn't always the common thing. Yeah, it's tough. It's hard. And then, in addition to the cis experience and how hard it is to be cis every day in life, just fucking go around and everyone just default affirms your gender all the time and you never have to think about it. I never look in the mirror and have any form of gender dysphoria and that, like, I'm like, oh my god, I should be a woman. That never happens to me. And then in addition to that, people do not say and misgender me ever. It's never happened to me. And I've never been in somewhere, unless they're doing it as an insult because they think women are lesser than men, unless they're being like, hey, by the way, how are you doing, she, her, you the little lady? But like, again, it's one of those things that has no power over me. I should be so lucky, this is not an insult. I don't think being a woman's bad. I love women. Women are fucking amazing. So if you're going to call me a woman as an insult, go nuts. That's not my pronouns, though. I, he, him. But life is hard. Life is hard in terms of the cis experience, just always being validated in every corner of the world, everywhere I go, just generally speaking, broadly in society, in all aspects, never being misgendered, never having to worry about traveling, never having to worry about any of that shit, never having to think when I leave the fucking house in the morning, is someone going to misgender me and break my heart that day? Is that going to be the moment where I suddenly feel like less of a human being because of what people say to me? I never have to think about that. I never do. I never worry about that. Never think about that in the morning. I don't stress about that before I leave the house. I've never thought about that. It's not a part of my life. And then I have to learn. It's all theoretical to me. I have to learn from hearing other people and hearing trans people and hearing their experience that's not their life. That's not their lived experience. They have to stress about that every single day. And that fucking sucks. That's the worst. Like, okay, I didn't know. All right, fair enough.
When thinking.
So anyways, this happened. It sucks. It's joining the pile of, like, what the fuckery.
Semen providers, in any way,
And then whiplash. And then also there's Sam Cedar talking about being a semen provider.
And look, I will say, like, saying semen providers, I don't think disregards my manhood in some way. I understand.
Again, it's like it's back and forth. I have such whiplash from this shit. Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form, available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free. just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Juste, we shall spend many a generations building mighty cathedrals in your honor. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your oafish jesters, here to offer you a laugh at any opportunity. To our brave knights of the Round Table, Rachel K., Izzy Solidarity, Victoria Bell, Sebastian Demo, Mark Harmon, Benji Arney, Scary Earth Human, Tony, DM Rivera, Resident Scarecrow, Sir Nickus, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Brandon, Words Greenwood, Everything Important, Hegbert Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Doug Cady, Daniel Sutton, Jenna Tao, Dark Puppy, Quiet One 85, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, Multimondi, Trevbot EXE, Brian Ephraim, Anthropophojack, Catherine, Ramon Acosta, Incosin, Ralph Parler, Violent Orchard, Political Puppy, La Media Panza, Todd Buckingham, and Todd La Jeunesse. We salute our valiant heroes off to fight injustice everywhere.